Hello, I am here to talk again about prepositions. And I know you're thinking, Rob, quit on the prepositions, but there's so many of them, and I have just been focusing on in, on, and at. Today I'm going to look at some others, and also, again, a little bit at those three as well, because I've found my students have made a few mistakes with prepositions and those particular ones. So I'm going to be looking at those in a bit. But you will have noticed, hopefully, if you checked my Facebook page today, I put a picture of some prepositions of time. Now I know I did that a few weeks ago, but these are using different words. There is in, on and at, but I'm going to bypass them and move on to the other ones. I'm just going to go through them one at a time and try to explain it better than here. So you can see the first one is after in, on and at. Since. Now my students have struggled with since and knowing when to use it. Since is from a certain period of time. So past until now. So the example it has on the picture, you can see married since 1980. So you could be talking about something like a job you've had. I've had this job since December last year. For, F-O-R, over a certain period of time. So again, it's similar to since, past till now, but you'd say, well, it says in love for 2 years. So you could have a job. I've had this job for 5 years. Ago, AGO, a certain time in the past. So this says bought 2 years ago. So yeah, you could be saying about I haven't done this. Well, no, I did this first, this whatever it was, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, certain time in the past. Before, B-E-F-O-R-E, earlier than a certain point in time. So here it says before she gave birth. She was slimmer, probably. And T-O, again, that's a word I want to look at specifically in another video because it's used in so many different areas. But here, when talking about time, as a preposition, telling the time. So I think we spoke about that a little bit, I did. 10 to 12. So when you're telling the time, and it's the long hand is coming up to the 12, like it could be 5 minutes, 5 to 12, 10 to 12, or you wouldn't say 15 to 12, you would say a quarter to 12. Or past is when it's the other side, so 10 past 12, or a quarter past 12. And again, if it's 12:30, you can say 12:30, or half past 12. From stroke to, so from and to, in around the beginning and end of a period of time. So available from, I'm available from 8 AM to 4 PM, or I'm working from Monday to Friday. And then you've got till, T-I-L, stroke until, in the sense of how long something is going to last. So on a holiday, until Friday. Or you're doing something, are we doing this until the end of the week? Or, yeah. And this next one is by. I was going to say, this needs to be done by the end of the week. I'm sure you have many deadlines at work, which we hate, but they're very important deadlines. So your boss might give you a deadline. You've got to get this done by next week, end of next week. And it says here, in the sense of at the latest, so by is at the latest. And it says, I will be back by 7 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, I had read 5 pages of a newspaper. So that is the end of that, the picture. Do check it out though, just to make it easier for you to understand. Any questions, please do message me. I've got a few people on Facebook asking me some questions. Please feel free to do that. There might be a certain area that you're struggling with and you find difficult to understand, so I can certainly help you. Now, just a few things that my students have mentioned over the past week and that I've noticed, and I can help you with them. So when you are, let's say you're on your bed, you're actually on top of your bed, maybe reading a book or something, and that would be, you'd be on your bed. But some people would say, if you were calling them, and they might say, oh, I'm in bed. But technically, you're not actually in bed unless you're actually under the covers. And again, there's another preposition, under. So if you're under the covers, then you are in bed. But if you're not in the covers, you're on your bed. And again, my friend and my student was talking about being, she said, on the city. And remember when I was talking about large places, like cities, like countries, it's in, so you're in the city. And again, I was also speaking a few weeks ago about at precise places. So let's say midday, you're at midday, right? But let's say it's 12:05, then it's the afternoon. But it wouldn't be at afternoon or at the afternoon. That would be in. So it's in the afternoon, it's in the morning, it's in the evening as well. Because remember when I was talking about the bubble, when you're in your bubble, you're in your month, you're in May. So, because remember it's a time period, morning and afternoon, so you're in that period of time. Hope that helps you. And again, when talking about the past, one of my students was talking about their childhood, and you would say, in my childhood. And you might say, when talking about the past, in the past, or in the present, or in the future. And another thing, I was talking about the films last week with prepositions. I was speaking to one of my students about one of my favourite films, Heat, and they had not heard of it because the filmmakers, when they're translating the film into Portuguese with subtitles, they change the names. So the name for Heat in Brazil is City Under Pressure. So I just saw that in one of my notes, and I thought that is again using under, the preposition under, to talk about pressure. So when somebody feels pressure, stress and pressure, you would say they are under pressure. There's a great song as well called Under Pressure. And I'm going to come to a few songs actually with prepositions in them as well. But one more thing, no, I don't think there's something I'll be doing something in the next few days. I think that's, just again about, this was a sentence that one of my students said, that they will be doing something in the next few days. I think they said on the next few days, but it is in. So I'll be doing something in the next few hours or in the next few days. So some songs. I actually looked, you can check the link below with the 100 greatest songs according to the newspaper. I think it was The Telegraph in Britain. The first one, Come On Eileen. That is a brilliant song by Dexy's Midnight Runners. So Come On. And I'm sure most of you, well, maybe you wouldn't have known this, this kind of phrase that people say, come on, when you want something to happen or you want someone to do something. You say, come on. And they're talking to Eileen. She needs to do something. I can't remember what they're wanting her to do, but maybe come round, have a chat. There's a couple from Frank Sinatra on that list. In the wee small hours of the morning. So again, that's talking about time. So in the wee, and wee is a word they use for small, to represent small. The wee small, so it's wee small, so it's like double. So again, that's time. And then I've got you under my skin. So I was speaking about under the covers. Again, when you're under. And there's another song when it comes to somewhere over the rainbow, because that's the opposite. But they're both prepositions, and yeah, under the skin is like, you know, literally beneath the skin, when you really feel something strongly. And Over the Rainbow, classic song by Judy Garland. It's kind of like an image of a rainbow far away, and over the, it's too far, over the rainbow, a long, long way away. Rolling in the Deep by Adele as well is on there. So rolling in the deep, you would roll in something, or this is in the deep. So fantastic song, and that preposition is about when you're deeply involved in something. And this song is about her, well, I'm sure you've heard it, but she's a bit naffed off with a past lover, I presume, and she's going to make his life a bit troublesome. So rolling in the deep, is she rolling in the deep? Is he going to roll in the deep? What does that mean? I don't know. Anarchy in the UK by the Sex Pistols. And I want to speak to you about a few things here, because again, it's talking about a country. So remember, you're in a country, well, a few countries, the United Kingdom. And you can see that it's not anarchy in UK, it's anarchy in the UK, because it's it's UK, it's like the USA, like the United Arab Emirates, UAE, when you are abbreviating a country, then you have to give it the definite article. So whenever you're using UK, always remember to put the UK, the USA, the UAE. And Bob Dylan, he's on there. A couple of songs from Bob Dylan. Blowing in the Wind. So in there, blowing in the wind, and you can imagine that it's something's, well, it's not literal, like something isn't blowing in the wind, but something might be blown in the wind, you know, in real life. A feather blows in the wind. And Tangled Up in Blue, brilliant song. Again, that's about his, well, I shouldn't really start talking about what it's about. Have a listen and you can work out what it's about, but the title Tangled Up in Blue, I guess blue is about like a kind of, when someone is blue, they're sad, they're going through some troublesome times. So he was tangled up in that feeling. And a couple, the one from the Beatles, In My Life. And again, remember when I was speaking about the bubble, long period of time. Your life is pretty long, hopefully, fingers crossed. Leonard Cohen, Bird on the Wire. Now, something is on, it's on top. Imagine a bird on a wire. And lastly, but not leastly, Stand By Me by Benny King. So again, that's the by is used in a few different ways. Here, it's used in the space when you're close to someone, you're next to something, so you can use that. The lampshade is by the bed, and this is about what's a fantastic song. I'm sure you know about it. If you don't, go and listen to it. So that is it. Okay, no more prepositions. This is going to be the last one. Next week, I'm going to be looking at conditions, conditionals. So that's it. So listen, I hope you are doing well with your English. Do message me. Do join my Facebook if you haven't already. Do join my YouTube, subscribe to that, and my Instagram as well. All under the name Learn British English with Rob Wynn. Alright, so have a wonderful day, brilliant week, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.